Ellie DeGrange. I'm a nature photography and text artist living in the Prince Albert area in northern Saskatchewan, Canada. This is me introducing you to Blooming Personality number 15, Nauseated Teenager. Number 15 in the series, the last one created just in October 2022, very recently. It is one of the characters, plant characters, in the Anthroponaturel story. So this piece particularly is plant society in here, but it's more about plant health. What I'm seeing here is Rosemary Bog puking on the sidewalk at a party. You see in the background you've got people dancing, loud music, and you've got Rosemary being sick. You got her girlfriend tapping her on the back. It's okay, let it all out. You'll feel better. Just let it all out, right? So many memories. But the story here is that perhaps it was the flu that made Rosemary Bog spill out her guts out on the sidewalk that day she was invited to a high school party. But perhaps it was the gin, right? It's very different than the other pieces because it was used with a different processing software than you would normally see, right? There's no Photoshop here. This is an environmental mapping software. I want to see beyond the portraits. I want to see what the plant community looks like. Plants live alongside one another. We are tied at the hip for life. You're growing here, you're growing there. We share food, we share water, we share space and light, and we are very closely knit for life. How does that affect plant health? For me, plant health means physical health, mental health, and spiritual health. And I was thinking about these three elements when I produced this. This is what you see normally. This is what you see on the outside, but health is beyond what you see on the external, right? It's internal, it's in your mind, it's in what you believe in. So I decided to create, so you almost need an X-ray to see how healthy a plant is physically. And this is what this is. This software I'm speaking of allowed me to derive using a statistical formula found in the scientific literature. It took me 2 days to find it, and I tested 10 of them. It allowed me to extract in bright colors here the parts of the plant that are the healthiest. Anything that's really dark is either not healthy or is not plant. So wood, flower, right? But it shows that Rosemary here is very healthy. Physically, doesn't mean she's entirely healthy. Her head is, she's puking, she's sick. And you see that in the photo here. It's very representative. And overlaid on top of this, I've got contour lines, so I've got a bit of a quirky mapping touch in here, but it really adds a nice wood-like texture to the image that I'm a huge fan of. So then what else is there, right? There is physical health. Then we have mental health. She's physically sick. Doesn't mean she's well in her mind. Doesn't mean that she's happy, right? So that maybe there's a reason why she's drinking. But this piece is an extract of the previous one where I've extracted all the non-plant pixels of the photo. This is all the wood on all the flower, and it really looked like it's really bright outside, and in your mind you can have a dark cloud over your head, looming over your head, and you are miserable. No matter how beautiful the world is, in your mind you are dying inside. Because if plants have communication, if they have culture, if they have a decision-making process, and possibly a brain-like structure that science hasn't found yet, right? So then that becomes plant psychology. Maybe it's called phytopsychology, and in 5 years we'll discover that. Just started looking into plant emotions about 5 years ago, and so I am wondering if in the future what seems like fiction will become non-fiction. So I'm challenging the idea that science has all the answers, right? Which is not true. So lastly, then we have spiritual health. I thought, well, if they have plants, if they have psychology, what if they have a soul? There is no doubt that there is something that makes us unique, that makes us us. And I started wondering if we can apply that concept to plants. So this technique here that you see is actually, I derived slope from the photo, another mapping quirk, but it gave it this ghost-like aspect, feel to it. It looks like a soul to me. It's ephemeral, it's ethereal, and I think it's perfect representation that posed the question whether plants have souls or not. So this is Blooming Personality number 15. It speaks to plant health. It is my latest work. It's my favorite by far. And more work like this is going to be coming in the future, in the next year or two. So I really invite you to subscribe to my channel, to check out my website and my Facebook page, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.